All right, while we wait for springtime, it looks pretty nice out here today, but it's actually 31 degrees right now. I figured with the downtime, I'd make a video of the Corolla XRS over there, if you guys ever noticed that sitting back there. I know I got a lot of guys waiting on more Eclipse content, which I'll have coming soon, waiting on tax return and warmer weather, because as you can see, I don't have a garage, so I don't really do a whole lot of excuse me, car work during the winter due to that. But I'll have content coming up on that soon, and we still got to figure the Subaru out. But yeah, I've never really made a video of the XRS over here, so I figured with the downtime I'll do that and kind of go over this guy. We've had this thing forever. I'm probably going to pop inside to talk, you know, neighbors and whatnot, but I'll show you around real quick. So this is her. This is a 06 XRS. They only made these for 2 years, 05 and 06. Very limited production. I think 5,000 or 6,000 units. And what is significant about these is a 6-speed manual only transmission with the 2ZZ GE engine out of the Celica GTS. I don't know if I got a plate on the back here or not. And there is the engine there. Dead giveaway that it's the 2ZZ, the metal intake manifold. The 1ZZ has the plastic. So there she is. So I apologize in advance for the lack of visuals. I do have some neighbors outside right now. You know, we live out in the country, so a lot of us actually come out even when it's cold out because we work around the yard and stuff. They're cutting firewood in front of me right now. But I'm shy, whatever you want to call it. I'm not one of those content creators with main character syndrome where I walk around like nobody else exists with the camera shoved up my face, talking loud and proud and all that. I personally hate that shit. So I'm just going to hide in here and we'll have a little story time. So sorry for the boring visuals of just the steering wheel there, but that's why I'm going to hide in here. Usually I try to get, you know, change up the angles and stuff, give you guys more look of the car while I'm yapping my mouth off. But anyways, so this is a 06 XRS, like I said, 6-speed manual, as you can see there, 2ZZ under the hood. In the Corollas, they make 170 horsepower, and I could go on and on about that, about vvt-li as they call it in the Toyota. It's basically VTEC. Lift engagement, it's different for the Matrix XRS and the Celica GTS, and it varies by year. And they really screwed over the Corollas here. It doesn't hit till 6,700. See, I'm going off on a tangent already, so I could go on and on about that, but I think we'll just make this about the story of our possession of the car and plans and stuff like that. And then later on I can get into that if you guys want, or just ask me down in the comments. But yeah, it's the 2ZZ 1.8 liter 170 horsepower output in this, 8,000 RPM redline, 6-speed manual transmission. And I'll be straight up with you guys, and it's part of the reason this thing has been sitting here for 5 years now, I believe it is, because this is not my car. Same with the WRX, that's hers. Currently I'm just rocking the Eclipse and the RSX. I did have a 2014 Mustang. It's like the first video or second video on this channel if you want to go all the way back and see that. But I kind of downsized, save a little bit of money. So I'm just rocking those two cars right now. But you'll notice it's a pattern. The vehicles that she owns, they sit a lot because when they need something, she tends to let them sit forever before they get addressed. So that's why this thing has been sitting here for 5 years. Currently, the WRX is down. If you guys have been following those videos, you would know why. But we got to take it in, and so that's completely up to her whenever she feels like taking it in, saving up the money. Instead of having Amazon deliver 5 packages a day, spend her money on the freaking car. But anyways, the WRX will eventually get addressed, but that's not up to me. So the Corolla's been sitting here for 5 years for the same reason. She can't shift right now, so this thing runs and drives just fine. Actually, it runs absolutely freaking perfect. It still runs like new, even though it's got 262 on the clock, I think. I've fixed a ton of things on this car. It was super, super reliable. She bought it brand new, day one, so it's a one owner. And we've had literally no issues out of this thing until we got past the 200,000 mile mark. And then it started nickel and diming us. So on my main channel, which I tend not to mention on here because it's firearms related, and I learned a long time ago that, well, not every car guy is into guns. And matter of fact, some of them hate my guts because I am into guns. Long story, but anyways, for the sake of the Corolla, I'll go ahead and throw that up. You guys can check it out if you want. I have the whole Corolla playlist on there with like 40 or 50 videos of this thing, hot rodding it around, and, you know, doing the repairs and stuff. Once it started needing everything, over 200,000 miles, you know, with stuff like water pump and alternator and stuff like that, sensors, crank sensor. But it finally got parked like 5 years ago because it can't shift the thing anymore. And I replaced the slave cylinder and clutch master cylinder, bled it multiple times, and still nothing. So I believe at this point that either the fingers on the flex plate, if I'm naming that part correctly, are worn out so it won't pull the clutch off the face of the flywheel completely, or maybe the shift fork, I don't know, it should be the fingers, I'm thinking. Anyway, she won't shift, so basically you need to do a whole new clutch kit on it. But she went and bought that WRX, and then this thing is pretty much just sat ever since. So hopefully eventually one day, I mean, it's just been sitting here for 5 years. I still start it up a few times a year and run it, and I've actually taken it down the road several times. I just have to start it while it's in second gear, because with the clutch to the floor, the freaking car starts going forward even though the clutch is to the floor, because it's not pulling the clutch up off the flywheel all the way, so it drags. So yeah, a few times I've started it just to keep everything rolling in second gear here, and I'll roll out of the driveway, and then I just kind of putt around down the road. And, you know, we live out in the middle of nowhere kind of, so drive around, and I can actually shift it if I like rev match just right. So, you know, I come out here and start it every once in a while. It's got fuel stabilizer in it to keep everything working on that end. And, but yeah, I can't shift it. You can't really get it out of gear because the freaking clutch won't disengage. So that's why she's been sitting for 5 years, because of that. And the person who actually owns it not wanting to pay for the kit to have me fix it yet. And they've just been driving the Subaru, but now the Subaru's down, so now she's just driving the Rio over there. But yeah, maybe one day I'll finally get this thing fixed up. Again, it's not at my discretion, but hopefully this year is the year, and then we'll get it up on the channel and start doing more stuff to it. We always wanted to, you know, it's got a cold air intake on it, a muffler delete. I think that's it. Oh, I ported the stock exhaust manifold when I had it off in one of the videos, repairing a donut gasket. But that's pretty much it. But we always wanted to do the ECU swap in it. If you know, you know. But basically just because of the freaking lift engagement not happening until 6,700 RPM on this. If you get the right ECU from one of the other cars, you can make it happen at 6,200 RPM. Or you can do the standalone, which obviously costs a lot more. And then you can tell it to come on whenever you want. So yeah, eventually it'd be nice to do all that and make this thing even faster, which she's pretty quick, man. Not so much off the line. I mean, it's not bad off the line, but this is a roll racer. Once this thing gets going, it goes. I used to have a buddy at work I used to race around all the time with a 01 Mustang GT, and he had bolt-ons. And the thing ran 13.8, 13.9 at the track in the quarter mile, and this Corolla would almost keep up on it. I mean, we would race side by side, and he's just barely pulling me like this off to the side with his, you know, bolt-on Mustang GT 01 again. They're 260 stock with all his bolt-ons. He had like everything, you know, cold air intake, long tube headers, all kinds of stuff. Anyways, I mean, 13-second car, and this thing would almost keep up on it, you know, through third and fourth gear. So as is, with just chopping the muffler off and a cold air intake on here, this thing pulls pretty strong on the freaking highway. I've had it up to 135 where the factory governor shuts it down, or it do 140s no problem. So it's actually a pretty dang fun car. So be nice to get this thing up and going again. So yeah, that's the Corolla. Hopefully this year will be the year we get her back on the road and you guys can see her in action. Like I said, check out the other channel. Got a whole playlist of it if you don't want to wait. And then here soon, just as soon as winter's over, which we're getting real close to spring now, I'll have content coming up on these guys as well. Thanks for checking this one out today, guys. I really appreciate it, and I hope to catch you on the next one.